right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Tuesday, the 3rd of June, and we've got some incredible events on the calendar this month. Check it out. A few of them have already sold out, like our vintage Bordeaux tasting on the 13th of June. Hey, if you see these once-in-a-lifetime events on the calendar, you may want to, call us up if you're interested, even mildly in them, because they do sell out rather quickly. And, well, we only have 15 seats here at the Wine Watch to do our once-in-a-lifetime event. So, incredible stuff coming up. Taste of the Nation on the 17th of June. We got over 50 wines for that. Come out and help us feed some hungry people here in South Florida. A great cause and a good time will be had by y'all. I promise. And you know my heart, where my heart is, it is in the Piedmont, one of my favorite wine regions in the world. It was great to see Isabella Oddero here in the store a little over a year ago now, I guess. And she's the 7th generation of this small family-owned producer. And they're located in La Mora, but they've got vineyard sites. Some of the top crews in Barolo and Barbaresco, and, I've always been a little perplexed at the low ratings that this winery's got from Robert Parker in the past. Well, that's why maybe Bob gave up rating Italian wines. You know, these Barolos, when they're released, can be very tannic, can be very backward, a little awkward, and, you got to wait 10 years for, a great vintage of Barolo. 15, 20 years for an outstanding vintage. And, these wines will last 30, 40, 50 years. We had the 1958 Spana from Valana here in our vintage Piedmont tasting a month or so ago, and that wine was the wine of the night. Not even a Barolo or Barbaresco, a zip code which most people are not even familiar with in the Piedmont. But these wines, like I said, top level. And the 2009s are the current release, and the Barolos are blend of 3 different vineyard sites. And, 2009, a very forward year, very, very drinkable for such a young vintage of Barolo. But still, hey, this is Barolo. It's a Nebbiolo. They only make about 40,000 bottles of this wine. It's got a lovely structure, power, and finesse. And, like I said, fairly forward for a young Barolo. The Brick Barolo Valero is up next. This is a single vineyard in Castiglione, Folletto. Only 4,000 bottles of this. A full south exposure. Really well-protected site. A little bit warmer, so earlier ripening. This wine always shows a little better when it's young. The Roque de Castiglione, $79 a bottle. It is just amazing to me. You can still buy some of the greatest wines of the Piedmont from some of the top sites for under $100. Hey, we have got wines on this offering. The Buceo Soprano Mondaca, the Vigno Rionda, well, the 04 I think is the current release. They may have released 05 now, but this wine's always held back for 10 years. This is an incredible vineyard site, amphitheater shaped. The soils here are white, calcareous limestone, and really old geological formation. The vines are 60 to 80 years old. Hey, this is their 150-year-old wine, but they keep it for 10 years. They've just released the new release of Cayman Special Select, and that's already $150. But, we've got some great older vintages on this offering, all the way back to 95. 95 was a good vintage. We got 96, 97, 98, 99, 2,000 half bottles of Barolo. Are they still good? You bet your bottom dollar they're still good. I've taken several of them home to drink. 2000, a really warm year. And, of the vintages, 1996 through 2001, you talk to the producers, they love 96. It is a classic year. 97, the American press loved. They jumped all over it, very forward. These wines are drinking at or near their peak right now. 98, wonderful structure, but still had some nice forward fruit to it, kind of a cross between 96 and 97. 99, a classic year. These are wines that you still want to keep another 5 or 10 years in your cellar. The 2000 vintage, drinking at its peak. Hey, it got a 100-point rating for the vintage from the Wine Spectator, and it's a California publication, so they do like forward drinkable wines. But we've got the 2009s, the new releases. We've got a little 2004 Vigno Rionda left, and then we've got a slew of these older vintage Oddero wines, one of my favorite producers in the Piedmont. Check it out. And hey, the older vintages, they're just a little more than the price of the current release in most cases. This is one of the greatest offerings for you Piedmont lovers that we have put out this year. Check it out. Everything from one of the greatest producers in the Piedmont, Oddero. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.